What's up, people? Welcome to another edition of the New Breed Music Podcast, the world's best brutal new death, hard slam, grind, thrash, core metal show. I'm one half of your hosting duo, Jay Horsecow. With me, I have my partner in crime, the notorious TIM Tim Anderson Jr. Tim, how's it going?
Good, great.
Fantastic. And with this week's special guest, joining us from the cold, white Northwest, we have Austin and Hunter from the band Drowner. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us.
Yo, thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
We are stoked to have you. You know, Tim listens to more music than any rational human should in a given week. And he pinged me the screen cap of his Apple Music because for whatever reason he doesn't like Spotify, but we don't hold that against him. And he's like, yo, listen to this. And of course it takes me like a day or two to get around to it because I'm running around doing other shit. And I got about a minute and a half into the first song, not just the intro, like the actual song. And I texted him, I said, yo, where the fuck is this coming from? Because like, holy shit, like it's well done, gentlemen. Well done.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
So if you had to describe your band to those that are listening, watching, how would you describe it?
Man, that's crazy to think about because I try to think about it as ambiguously as possible, but there's obvious influences. It's like all the stuff I grew up on. I wanted to be in a band with Korn's bass tone, Deftones' ambition, and the energy of like a Linkin Park type. So like all of that kind of combined was what I was picturing.
Okay.
Well, you nailed it because the bass tone is fucking amazing on the EP.
Yeah.
Thank you. We like honestly, it was me and Growthy, our guitarist, who like really like dialed that in, and we're just like, we want this to just go fucking thud, like just like kick some ass. No, I mean, I think Austin nailed it with like how our influences came together really well. And it's been really interesting to see like a couple different people write about it or like make videos about it, which is wild as fuck that anyone even wants to like study it further than what it is. But like pretty much everyone has nailed it where they're like, it's like reminiscent of like that early 2000s sound without ripping it off entirely. Like, because that was really the goal that we were writing. We're like, we want to make something that 14-year-old us is just going to freak the fuck out on. And like, I don't know, I think we did it. I'm proud of what we did. So,
well, that was always a big point too, is we didn't want to sound like anything else. We wanted to be present, but we didn't want it to be like a straight ripoff, because we found like a lot of people were kind of doing that, and we were trying to stay away from that as much as possible. Like we wanted you to be like, we hear this and this and this, but we don't want it to be like a carbon copy or
right.
Like a
Right. And I think you guys nailed it, because when I took a bunch of notes when I was actually live chatting with Tim as I was listening. I'm like, okay, so you can tell that there's some influence from the late 90s, early aughts new metal, but there's also some metalcore stuff in there. There are moments where I hear Spineshank. There are moments where I hear the electronics. There's the one song where it might have been the second track, even the third track, where the electronics are there and they're present, but they're kind of just bubbling below the surface in a way where it's not like slapping you in the face, like, hey, look, we have samples. It's adding more by kind of being one of those things where it kind of comes in and out of earshot, if that makes any sense. And that made me like, I listened twice on the speaker and then once on a good pair of headphones. And that was where I kept looking at the phone. Like, wow, like I still on the same album? No, yeah, it really, really well done. Really impressive.
Thank you. I mean, yeah, that was like really the goal with all of like the more like synthy and like industrial type influences on it, where making sure that didn't overtake anything and that we were using it to like kind of weave in and out of everything to like be cohesive without leaning one way or another too much.
And we got to give props to Growthy too.
Yeah, he's the glue that keeps the shit together.
Mastermind. He recorded all of it.
We're just assholes who yell.
And he plays guitar in the band, but he's the subtleties. All the subtleties you hear, that's him. And he'll come to us and be like, what if we did this? And we have to kind of think about it for a second. We're like, I don't know, man, because sometimes he needs to be reined in.
But it's funny because like we'll have like these little writing days where we'll sit there and like fuck with stuff, and he just like throws out some wild idea, and we're all just like, man, like shut the fuck up. Like, no, like we're not doing that. And then we all listen back to it. And we're like, God fucking damn it, he was right again. Like, that's like, dude, stop it.
That dude's pedal board has to be ridiculous, I'm assuming.
Oh, I've been like helping him build it, and like he had to get like a whole fucking like switcher situation so he could like have like different like so he could just like engage 6 pedals at once with one button and like turn them all off and do everything.
He was so happy when he got that.
Oh my god, yeah, he was literally like sending text messages to our group chat, just like, holy shit, guys, everything's coming together.
Yeah, I can. That's what I was saying to myself as I listened to the EP. I'm like, I love the use of effects in here, and how, like Jay said, it's not where it's so crazy in the mix and loud. It's like it's just right there, and it just fits perfectly.
Yeah, subtle is a good word. Subtle, because it's there when you're listening for it, but if you're not, it kind of just blends in and just makes the music more of a cohesive whole of itself.
Yeah.
So let's talk about influences, right? Like, and let's talk about, guys, let's talk about influences where you talked Linkin Park, you talked the bass tone of Korn, you talked about the Deftones, Reach, and Dreams. What else? Like, what else would surprise people who were listening? Where you're like, yo, I'm a huge fan of, like, I don't know, Heelung, and I love throat singing or something like that. Like, what kind of crazy shit is sitting on your phones?
So I mean, I was kind of thinking about this a little bit because funny enough, I listened to you guys' episode with Andy from Cervix. I toured with Andy a couple years ago, so this is an acquaintance, a little friend, good guy. I fuck with that guy. And I'd say like one of the biggest influences that I had, especially when thinking about like when we were putting everything together, like I was really big on making sure the whole EP had like transitions between everything, so it kind of all just like flows together, like you never have moments of silence or like dead air. And I think the biggest influence for that is Enter Shikari for me. Like that was like my favorite fucking band for years, and like I kind of dug back into them.
I would have never
Austin's
ever
laughing.
said that. I don't care about that band at all.
This is the reaction I get all the time. Oh man, I fucking love that. That band still fucking slaps. I don't give a shit. I will put Take to the Skies up against any goddamn modern metalcore band.
I saw that music video where they filmed it in like someone's living room, and I was like,
yeah. Sorry, you're not a winner. It's a fucking banger and a classic.
That's
you're
all
wrong,
I know
man.
about that band.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm like, okay.
See, it's okay. I own it. It's more for me, you know.
all good, man. All good though.
That's why I play bass. But I mean, like, that's like one that I feel like not a lot of people expect, because like, you get exactly that reaction. But like, honestly, the biggest thing for me was Linkin Park and like Limp Bizkit, as like basic as those answers are. That was definitely like when we wrote Holding On to Life, which almost started as like a joke, like that song, because we had literally written an entire like full length's worth of music for like an alt rock project. And then one day Grothy came in with the riff, and we're like, man, fuck it, this is us now. Like,
yo, I'll tell you what, man, that's the riff, because that's the first track I heard, and Jay will tell you that riff right there, you caught me instantly, because as soon as my head starts bobbing, I'm like, all right, I'm fucking into this.
Done. Yep.
I listened to the rest of it. I was like, this is one of the best things I've heard in a while in the genre, because it's fresh, but it's got that old feeling to it, if that makes sense to you guys.
Oh, I mean, that's what we were going for.
That was the whole point.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be like a new reimagined version of everything that we loved,
Oh yeah.
And it wasn't supposed to be a carbon copy, and we wanted it to really stand out as its own piece of music. Like,
yeah, it doesn't sound like a ripoff, right? It doesn't sound like, oh look, another Primer 55 ripoff, right? which like no offense to a lot of those late like third tier new metal bands, right? Like 2003, 2004, 2005, but everybody kind of started sounding the same. And when your influences is an influence of it, when you're influenced by somebody who is influenced by the progenitor of the genre, it's kind of like, okay, we're getting really close to derivative here, and you guys don't sound that way. Like there's enough that I was like, ooh, and Tim will tell you, like he can show you the chat where I'm like, oh wow, this went somewhere I wasn't expecting. This is pretty good. I like this. Yeah.
No,
So
it's great hearing that.
what did you guys do before Drowner? Any other musical projects, any previous bands? So you said you toured with Andy. What else were you doing prior to this?
Well, me and Growthy were in a band. Well, we've been making music for the last 8 years together. But we were in a band called Surface that kind of fills it out. But we had, we did pretty well. And then we had like another project that was called Amethyst. That was kind of our buddies project, but we helped along with it, and we did that for years. But we never played shows with it or anything like that. But and those are both just kind of like, I don't know, Surface was more like a 90s grunge type thing, but more I don't know, I guess everyone compared us to Basement, but
and they hate it. It's great.
I don't hear it.
It sounds like Basement.
Yeah.
Color Me with Kindness is one of my favorite records.
No, it's sick. I
Yeah.
say it with love, but like I love telling them that because they fucking hate it.
Well, it is what it is. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and be like I didn't listen to Basement a lot at the time, but like at the same time, it was different than that to me. But and then Amethyst was kind of like a more reverbed out alt project. So it was, I think we were just listening to a lot of nothing.
Yeah.
Were.
Like
Were
and
and oh god. Further out. Cloakroom.
Yeah.
I
Cloakroom.
listened to so much Further Out during that time. But yeah. So that's what I was doing. And other than that, just making like weird singer-songwritery stuff.
Yeah. I was not doing that. I was playing in hardcore bands. I used to be in a band called War Prayer. That was the one that I did the most with. Did a lot of touring with them from like time I was like 19, 20 till about like 23. And then definitely got kicked out of that band. Like it's all good. We're friends with them now. Like I was a little piece of shit. And then the tour that I did with Andy actually was with when he was in Shame Spiral. I was filling in for a band called Castaway from San Jose.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, for that. Yep.
Yeah, and I did a full US with them, and actually that's what led me to moving out to Portland because I was I had to quit my job for that tour, and I was with my ex at the time. We were just like, fuck it, like what if I just like moved to Portland, like $400 in my bank account, like just rented a car, fucking got out here, and here I am.
that takes major fucking seriously props to that, because like, I've been thinking of moving like down south, and I'm just like scared to death to do it because I'm like,
it's
what
hot.
am I gonna do? It's just like you gotta find a job, and obviously you can rent somewhere, but that takes fucking balls, man.
Yeah, it does. But I mean, if there's any place where you could really just say fuck it and go for it, and if it doesn't work, I'll just be homeless. Portland is probably the best choice you could make, second only to like Venice Beach, right? Like,
Yeah, dude.
like Portland, Tim. I don't know if you've ever been. It's actually a really beautiful city. Like, it's beautiful.
I heard it is. Yeah.
And I mean, I had a blast when I was out there. But like, literally, you could just pull up an RV and be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna live here now."
It's been wild
And
too.
the closer you get over to like further east, like out towards like Troutdale and Gresham.
Oh yeah,
you
like,
can literally just pull off alongside of the road and just live there now.
yeah.
You can set a car on fire and it just lives there for like a while.
there was literally a block and a half from my house. There was like this whole, like, I called it the homeless chateau because it was like full like tarps, like solid like 15 by 20 like tent situation that they had made. And I swear to God, they were there for like a year and a half, and they only recently got moved. But it like, they were just like posted the fuck up there, and like they were super respectful. Like I never had any problems with them, but like it was like the businesses were pushing them out. But like, yeah, Portland, you can just kind of fucking like it is the homestead capital right
Yes.
now. Like you
Yes.
fucking
Look
lay your
under
claim wherever.
any of our bridges.
Oh, dude,
Yep.
yeah. Like,
and you can do any drug you want because it's Oregon. So hey, you want to do crack? Hey,
dude, that's
hey,
the
we can do
funniest thing to
crack.
explain to people. Where I'm like, yeah, dude, drugs are legal here. Like,
Are they really?
You can.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh, wow.
we passed a law where it was like all drugs are decriminalized. So like, unless you have like fucking 2 full ounces of heroin or something like that, they're never gonna say anything. And honestly, cops around here just like don't fucking do anything. Like
That makes me curious to, cause like I don't want to turn this into like a drug thing, but not that I'm going to. It makes me curious because I would love to see the overdose deaths and like arrests there compared to Philly, because Philly is a fucking war zone with just everything, drugs and violence and shit. But like I always thought if you made everything legal, you would probably save a lot on just bullshit. You know what I mean?
yeah, I mean that was kind of the idea of like passing it from like, at least that was like my logic with it. I don't know. I guess I haven't looked into the numbers much. Like I'm lazy by nature, so I'll keep up on shit.
I think
I think
got
there's
more of
been
an attitude, and we just have homeless people.
That's true. I mean, that's one thing that like you can say about like East Coast homeless people compared to West Coast. Like,
yeah,
West Coast homeless people, they're probably never gonna do anything. They might say some like super out of pocket shit to you, just like it's nothing. But like East Coast homeless people, they're gonna say some out of pocket shit to you and then probably try and attack you.
It's a different type of homeless person on the East Coast,
dude.
right? The weather, it's a different type, right?
We have the Walking Dead around here.
Oh yeah.
You mentioned somebody will just say something out of pocket. I land, I get out of the airport, I go to the hotel, I go to the Heathman, and I come out and I said to the chick at the front desk, I'm like, where's the nearest like bodega, convenience store, whatever? I want to get water and some other stuff. She's like, oh, down the street to CVS. I literally walked out of the hotel. I made a left. I was a half a block away and some homeless guy started heckling me about my shirt. And I'm like,
Yep.
Yo, really? Like, I just fucking got here, dude. Like, I just got here.
I used to live next to this plaid pantry downtown, and me and my now fiance, at the time my girlfriend, we went in there to go get like, I don't know, fucking ice cream sandwiches or something. And she was like, we went up to the counter and there's this lady dressed like head to toe in teal like spandex. And she just goes, I know who the fuck you are. And I was like, what? She goes, you think I don't see that tattoo on your arm? I looked down. It's like she's looking at this little like Playboy bunny rabbit type thing. It's a little bit classier than that. And she goes, I know you're in the fucking cartel. And she's like, and I know that's your whore. That's your whore. And I was like,
have I not heard this story?
oh, dude, it was nuts. And so then she followed us back to my apartment and just standing there like, I know where you live.
Portland is lit in a different, it's not like here, right? Tim, it's not like here. Like here, they would have just started shooting at some point. They just were like, you know what?
Yeah,
that's enough. That's enough of this. So let's talk, while we're talking about Portland, let's talk about like the Portland, the Pacific Northwest scene. Because
Jay, before you say that, I just want to cut you off real quick. I just want to do it before I forget. So sorry. I was hoping one of you guys said you were in a band called Funerals. Are you familiar with that band?
I'm familiar with that band. I know a lot of the people that were in that band.
Whatever happened to them? I always wanted to know, and no one could tell me. So once I realized that you guys were in hardcore bands, I had to ask. Sorry to cut you off, Jay.
Honestly, man, like there's a dude in that band that sucks.
Oh, okay. I got
fucking
you.
Sucks.
I got you. Okay.
But honestly,
and I heard something like that, so I'm not surprised you said that. Okay.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm still friends with one of the dudes in that band, the guitar player, and
okay.
Yeah, they just fizzled out because one of those dudes sucked, and
okay, everyone
was kind of like, all right, well, if that's how you're gonna live your life, then we're just gonna stop supporting you. So
don't want to be associated with it. Gotcha.
Right. Yeah, no. Right.
Didn't they do the split way? It was like a 4-way with like Sanction and a couple other bands.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's where I heard it, and I was like, "Oh man, this shit is really fucking good." And then like it just went away, and then I heard that kind of stuff, and I was like, "All right, I'm gonna leave it alone." But I was like, "Let me ask, since these are Portland guys." So
Yeah, I mean, honestly, a lot of shit just came out about a bunch of women being mistreated, and
Okay.
everyone was just like, we don't fuck with that dude anymore. So, and the dude thought he was hot shit. So,
okay,
yeah, they usually do.
Wasn't Theories from the Pacific Northwest that they were like a death metal grind band? I think they were from maybe Seattle. I think Black Breath was out that way. Now you got Dying Wish. What is it? Wake of Humanity. I mean, there's a bunch of The Body is basically now from, I think, Seattle now.
So honestly, like when it comes to a lot of like for me specifically, like I have only been out here for 3 years. Like the shit that I know, like my home scene is like Fargo, North Dakota, and like Minneapolis, Minnesota. Like that's
okay.
That's my hometown shit.
Yeah,
okay.
While God Sleeps with Dead Hands Rising.
Hold up. Wow. Oh, holy shit. While God Sleeps, the drummer Alex was in War Prayer with me. So like,
oh no shit.
Those are my fucking boys. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the shit that they've been doing lately, where they said, "Hey, this is our new sound." I fucking love it. I thought that last
time when they went straight up early 2000s metalcore, I was like, yeah, no, this is fucking everything it needs to be.
Jay, is that the band you asked me to get on Ill Street?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and I think Hunter knows somebody as well. I think Hunter is boys with the lead singer, Hunter Young from Mood Ring, Greyview.
Oh,
Body Box.
This is fucking hilarious. Hunter is like really tight with my friends down in Florida. Matt, who was the vocalist of War Prayer, and Trent Duvall. Like I feel like his name gets thrown out fucking everywhere. But like, yeah, no, those are my boys.
Dude, it is a small world.
It's a small fucking world, man.
Everybody we talk to knows each other. It's
which is kind of cool.
Dude, no, like this whole fucking like little underground like heavy music scene is just so incestuous and like together it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, like okay, you guys are in Portland. He's in fucking Florida. Oh yeah, I know him.
Yeah, dude.
How do you know everybody?
Like I'm great friends.
Yeah, like we talk about people from Philly. Oh yeah, I know him. Yeah, I'm good friends when I was in a band with him like 3 years ago. What?
What the fuck? The internet is definitely
flat as fuck, buddy.
The internet has flattened everything, right? It's made everybody, you come across somebody during a tour and you're like, yo, I would fuck with you. Like if you want to ever mess around and do something, let's do something. And then here we are.
Yeah.
So let me getting away from Downer for a bit. What's the stuff that you guys have been listening to lately? Like stuff that's come out this year where you're like, yo, or stuff where you're waiting to come out and thinking this may be my album of the year. What's been caught in your ears lately?
Hold on, let me pull out my phone.
Everybody, take the minute to pull out your phone and look, right?
I've been listening to a lot of Sugar Ray. Been waiting for them to make a comeback.
I have which Sugar Ray? The Lemonade and Brownies Sugar Ray or the Fly Sugar Ray?
Oh,
Fly for sure.
Fly for sure.
Okay.
Really.
See, I have
only
a
4-year-old super cuts music.
Yeah,
dude. No, Tim, you called it. I have it on a post-it here. Hair cuttery metal is what you called it.
Yep.
Honest answer. I think like the one band that I've like been just listening to a lot, and maybe it's because like they're kind of our Midwest counterparts, but Zone Zero, that band has just been fucking killing it. Like,
yeah,
everything that they put out has been fucking amazing.
Let me guess, you guys are friends with Jordan. You've been in 2 bands with them.
All right, so I got introduced to them because of who the fuck was it? Delayed Gratifications Records, man. Out in Columbus.
Yep.
Like, there's that whole fucking scene out there. Like, I met Nate Snitchler from like, I don't even know how many fucking bands he's in now, like In Love and all that shit.
Yep.
I got hooked up with them forever ago, and I hit up Vlad from Delayed Gratifications, and I was just like, yo, like, would you ever want to put out this EP? Like, I loved working with you back in the day. Like, it'd be cool to do it again. He was like, no, like, it's not really what I'm trying to like have for the label. And I was like, that's fair. And he's like, you should check out Zone Zero though. Like, they're like kind of in the same boat as you guys of like sound. And I listened to them and kind of like followed them all on Twitter. And I was like, yo, like, when are we taking over the fucking world? Like, this is crazy. Like, you guys are literally us on the other side of the country.
Yep.
See, my music choices have been so wild lately.
Oh, let's hear it.
I've been listening to Failure.
Tight.
I've been listening to Ovlove.
Huh?
I've been listening to the new Deaf Heaven record.
Hell yeah.
I've been
It's not bad.
listening to that new Corn record, which is really good.
It is good.
Which one was that?
Requiem.
Requiem.
I don't think I've listened to that one.
It's
It's
solid.
real-
man.
it's
You
good,
should definitely
actually.
check it out.
That Bleed EP.
Oh
I
yeah.
fucking love that red. Oh my
Yeah,
god,
it's
I
him.
love
really
Tim
that.
good.
goes on about that. Yeah.
That new Terror record.
Yeah.
Yo, that is by far the best record they've done in years. And no offense, to, like Martine or
That's how
anybody,
I felt
but
about the last record, though.
Todd Jones can write a fucking riff, right? He can write a riff, and that whole thing is like, what if I don't want to do nails, but I want to do terror and I want to just be
Yeah,
abrasive?
I feel like that's the thing that Terror does, though. It's like every time they come out with another record, they're like, oh man, this one's really good too. And so it's like a competition almost, like, what's
Yeah.
the best Terror record? I mean, you got like, obviously everyone's gonna be like, oh, Keepers of the Faith is the best. But honestly, that the record they put out before this last one, when I first heard it, I was like, oh, this is the best Terror record I've ever heard.
Yeah, and they're an amazing live band. I mean, Vogel's a lunatic. They have great choices for openers too. He's another guy. He's another guy who takes out bands where he's basically challenging and say, blow us off the stage. Give us, you know.
I love that mentality. Like
Absolutely.
I love it being like a healthy competition of just like who the fuck's gonna like go off the hardest tonight. Also, I'm sitting here looking through like what I've been listening to lately. I don't think I've listened to anything new in like 3 years. Like most of my shit is like
most of my stuff's not
Metallica, like I was listening to Linkin Park, listening to Glockamora the other day, like, you know, fucking.
So what failure album?
Oh yeah.
Silent Planet.
Perfect. It is. If you were to put a gun to my head and say, name 5 perfect albums, that's the first one that always comes to mind. Like it is.
Dude, I can listen to that record so many times.
Yes.
It's not even funny.
Yes, there is not one bad song on that album. And it's a long album, and most albums fall off in the second half. But in the second half, you get another space song, you get Daylight, you get Solaris, you get like the Nurse Who Loved Me is a deep track, right? So that's how you know it's a great album. When you're at like track 11 and you're like, yo, this is still amazing.
That's one of my favorite albums to just zone out to just turn off the world, listen, just kind of be with myself and absorb everything. I love that record so much.
Yeah, it's amazing. I remember I just had the Facebook memory show up when they did the reunion tour before they put out I forgot the comeback album. They did a reunion tour at the TLA in Philly, and I definitely had tears in my eyes because they opened up with another space song, and I was just like, because I wanted to see them back in, what was it, 94, where they did Lollapalooza in 94 and they broke up and didn't even make it to the end of the tour. I was like, yo, this band is amazing. And yeah, it was absolutely fantastic.
What tour was that, Jay? Was that the helmet? Not helmet.
No,
tour?
It was another Tree of Stars tour. It's called Tree of Stars.
It wasn't the home tour.
No, the Hum was the comeback album. It was nothing Hum and them for the comeback.
Speaking of Hum, though,
that new Hum record is so,
dude.
I mean, it's like
how do you disappear for like a decade and come back and put out a banger like that?
Genius. It's still just come back and be the best goddamn thing in the world.
And it comes out of fucking nowhere. That's
dude. Oh my god. No,
That's
I remember like when that
part.
dropped, all of us were just like texting each other, just like, no fucking way. Like, holy shit, dude. Like, oh man, Hum, that fucking band.
That came out. I was doing a podcast before this and I was setting up for it and just realized that record came out. And I purposely told the guests, I have technical difficulties, because I was like, I'm fucking listening to this right now. I don't give a fuck about this interview. And I did it like I called to do like 8:40. I was 40 minutes late because I listened to that record. I was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it a bad interview? Because you had some dogs.
No, it was great.
Was it Frankie from Amur where he was arguing with you the whole time?
Nah. Isn't he from around where you guys are at now? He's in Portland, I think, right now.
Frankie from Amir?
Yeah, he moved out there.
Shit, I haven't run into him, but
yeah, he's
you know who's out there? The porn star London River. How do I know that? Don't ask. Just don't fucking ask.
Honestly, respect.
Yeah, Frankie's one of my haters.
he was emailing Tim after the interview trying to send corrections. Like, yo, you were wrong, and this is the correction. Interesting
Damn,
guy.
bro,
So,
just let it go.
so what do you?
Exactly.
So you guys, out of nowhere, this EP drops. It's fantastic. What are you doing next? Like, what are some of the plans? You're gonna do some touring, maybe do some singles, full lengths. What's coming up?
I mean, right now we're just trying to finalize the lineup because we've unfortunately had a guitar player have to drop out. He's just too busy, and I'm getting married. I got a second kid on the way. So touring is a little up in the air right now. But we're definitely trying to play shows, trying to get that all going and really just hone in on how we write as a band, as a full band. We want this next record to really have everyone's input. Our drummer, he's super into like really weird, like his drum set has like empty bottles of whiskey on it that he just kind of like hits. And like he has like a rotor, like a rotor off a car just on a stand. He's like, check out how this sounds.
He's just like, oh man, Jordan is a goofy motherfucker.
I showed him this video the other day of this guy who had a mic on a glass bowl full of airsoft pellets, and I showed it to him because it made a weird sound, and he's like, I need to get some airsoft pellets.
So I mean, there is something to be said about that, though, right? Like, the unique sounds that come from somebody really truly being inventive. Like every riff has already been written. Every riff that's ever going to be written has already been written. So you got to find a way to differentiate yourself.
Well, I think the biggest thing about our band is that rule number one is there are no rules.
Yep.
Like we try it, we go for it, and if we think it's cool in the moment, and like an hour or two later we don't think it's cool, then we rework it and we think about something else. But the biggest thing is that like a lot of people get caught up in that struggle between creative ideas and whatever. And dude, to us, it's like, fuck it, dude. Yeah, let's try it. We'll see what happens. That's how you get all the subtlety stuff. That's how you get all the different riffs on the record. It's all the different tones. It's all been okayed at some point,
Yeah. And like, it's really funny talking about Drowner with people because like we are very much like a pandemic band where we kind of were all just like, we started a project just because we're all like, none of us are in bands right now. We don't really know where we're going with shit. So we're just going to like get together and write. And like, that's how it started with like Buman and Grothy getting together. And then I kind of started showing up for a couple things. I remember like the first day that I jammed with them, we wrote like one of those alt rock songs I was talking about. And it was like, I went home and listened to it. And I'm like, this is the best piece of music I've ever been a part of. Like this group somehow just like pulled the best out of me immediately. And that's just kind of how it was. Like for the whole experience of writing this EP was just like, we all pulled the best of ourselves out of each other. And when it came time to like finally decide like, oh shit, like we're a band, we're gonna like put out a record. And we met Jordan, who was just gonna be our session drummer. He heard the songs, was like, you know what, fuck what I was doing, I'm just gonna join your band because I like this way better than what I was doing. And like now we're kind of getting to the point of like finally playing live with him a little bit, like having actual practices and like him starting to kind of put his spin on things. So I mean, really, yeah, like our next goals are putting out a full length hopefully soon, and just getting some live shows going.
Yeah, just really dialing in the live shows because we want it to be great. We don't want it to be mediocre. That's the biggest thing. We want it to be, what did I say? I wanted it to be like undeniable.
Yeah,
like just like you see it and you're like, damn, dude, that's a good band. I don't really even fuck with it, but that's a good band.
I mean, like it comes back to like what I was talking about with like the healthy competition of everything, where like I want to win the night. Like I want everyone to have a good time, but I want to fucking win the night, man. Like I want to be the best band out there.
Which I'm honestly, as a fan, those are the shows that you enjoy the most when every band is going for it. You're like, look, I'm trying to blow all these motherfuckers off the stage. And that, I mean, the tour I just saw was it was Body Box, Vatican, Boundaries, and Spite. And you could tell all four of those bands were going for it.
Yeah,
and
shouts out like Boundaries. That band is the best fucking live band I have ever seen in my entire life. I love those people so much.
Love that band. I begged Tim to get mad on when they released right before they released My Body in Bloom. Was it My Body in Bloom? No, it was the full length. It was right before You Were Seeing Warmth. I begged him to get him on his other show. His voice is like he gargles a cheese grater. Like it is that abrasive. But
Matt
I mean,
is
that's
also one of the funniest fucking people I've ever met in my life. So you need to get him on a podcast.
Yeah, we need to line him up through some new
Did
stuff.
we talk to him though?
We talked to him on Ill Street.
That's right.
And that's where he talked about, like, he was like, you know, he was a fan of Bury Your Dead and he was a fan of Slipknot. And we never, once Tim and I launched this thing, we never had a chance to connect with him. But yeah, that show, you could tell everybody was basically trying to see who could clear the place out. Body Box was insane. Vatican was unreal. That album is definitely my top 10 this year. Boundaries basically nuked the fucking place. They nuked the place to the point where Spite went on and it was kind of empty compared to what Boundaries had.
Which is wild. Like that was okay. So that tour that I did with Andy, actually, it was with Boundaries as well. Like that was how we started our tour, was with Boundaries. And I remember the first night that I saw them, I was pissed. I was like, we have to play every night with these motherfuckers. Like, that's not fair. They fucking write a song where they have just like, I am undeniable. Like they fucking called their shot with that shit. Like they're fucking amazing. And you have to follow them some night. Fuck that. No, man. Like,
right.
How do you do that? Like,
right. The only tour I ever went on was the worst tour ever. We packed 5 fucking dudes in a Ford fucking Ranger.
Oh my god.
And it was the worst. I had to sit in the back with this other dude, and like our legs were kind of like intermingled a little bit because there's not much room back there. But we were so like just trying to get this shit done. We're like, book it. We'll go to Reno. We'll go to fucking Fresno. We don't give a fuck. And then
that's
by the
not
end
a
of it,
short drive, dude. That's not a short drive.
No, it is not.
Dude, like halfway through, we had to stop by a mechanic shop because we had a bunch of issues with it. And I was just like, man, this shit sucks.
But
at that point, I'd be in the bed.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
Sleeping
yeah,
in the
dude.
bed.
Dude, that's where all of our fucking amps and shit were. We had like a trailer.
Shit.
Dude, this is the best part. We had a trailer also behind us that I don't think was supposed to be towed by a Ford Ranger.
Yeah, no.
So
that's tour for you, buddy.
Dude, it was sick. Honestly, one of the sickest things ever.
Oh yeah, you got an awesome story to tell and an awesome experience. But yeah, to your point, like I want the opener to try and blow the headliner off the stage. The best example I can think of recently is, and I think I've told this story before, I saw it was Every Time I Die touring off of Low Teens, and they took out Knock Loose, and this is before Knock Loose became the band that they are. And it was Every Time I Die, Knock Loose, Harm's Way, Eternal Sleep, and somebody else. And Harm's Way was fantastic. Eternal Sleep was fantastic. Knock Loose literally fucking destroyed the place to the point where even Keith made a remark, like, because Every Time I Die is an amazing live band, right?
Dude,
I
literally one of my favorites. Straight up have an Every Time I Die tattoo.
Oh, they're fucking awesome. They're fucking awesome. They come out and they run that stage. And Keith actually made a joke like, oh, I guess everybody was here for Knock Loose. Hey, we're still getting paid anyway. This next song is called Floater. And then they went right into it. Like, but I think that's the way you gotta approach touring, because there are bands that we won't mention them on record on this recording, but Tim and I have made fun of them, where they never take out anybody that could run the risk of upstaging them.
Hey, Bree.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about it.
Bunch of fucking cowards.
But yeah, basically, right? Like Adam from Orthodox, we've had him on a couple of times, and he's talked about like, that should be your goal, to go out there and blow the headliner off the stage, make everybody so exhausted that they're all looking at the next band like, yeah, I'm not really interested.
Yeah, like I'm done.
That's what you want.
And like, it was Knock Loose specifically, when they were kind of like really getting started. Like my old band played a couple shows with them, like in just tiny venues, and I remember all of us like had the conversation of like, man, like when this full length, like it was right before Laugh Tracks, like when this full length comes out, like we're never gonna play with these guys again because they're just gonna fucking blow up. And then they did that Every Time I Die tour, and like we all kind of like saw them separately and we're like, what the fuck, man? Like this is the new bar. Like they set the bar for that so fucking high. And it's great, like, because I love a challenge. You know, I want to see that high bar and just say fuck you, like I got it. Like,
yeah. I mean, and they're another band, like they're self-professed hardcore nerds, crate divers, right? Like when they toured off of I think it was Laugh Tracks. And it was them, Terror, Year of the Knife, Jesus Peace, and I forgot who the other band was. I know Cast. Who was it? Tim, what was the band? The guy from 100 Demons plays the guitar. They're from New England.
Cast in Blood.
Oh fuck.
But like it was and Terror, right? It was fucking amazing. It was amazing. But yeah, they go for it, right? And you should.
They like. I will always say that Knocked Loose is a hardcore band, even if they are like a technically like deathcore, metalcore, or the fuck. Like they have like the hardcore ethos more than any other fucking band. Like they go in on it. Like seeing them, especially like in Louisville, like that whole scene, just like surrounding them is hardcore for hardcore. Like they fucking, it's great. Like I love seeing that shit because like I am a hardcore kid at heart.
And now look at, and to that point, right? Look at all the stuff that's coming out of that area of the country. Right, the Kentucky, Tennessee, Louisville, that area. I mean, you've got, what is it? You've got them. You've got a dozen Black Roses. Yeah. You've got Inclination. You've got Orthodox, Catabasis.
No Cure, like a little further south, but like
Gates of Hell, right? Yeah. I think it's Tulsa, Oklahoma, but I fucking love that new Peeling Flesh EP. I know it's just brutal slam. But if you guys heard that one yet?
I have, yeah.
Where they hit the reggae horn in the middle of the song right before the breakdown.
Yeah. Like them and like Sledge, like out in Oklahoma too. Like, you know, it's fucking tight. Like I've been seeing a lot of these things like kind of come up. And you mentioned Vatican earlier, like Mike Sugars, like him and actually I've had too many beers now. I'm like forgetting names. Nico, who just joined Knocked Loose recently, their old band Church Tongue as well. Like, you know, just like watching that whole scene kind of like come into its own, especially in the last few years, has been fucking amazing. Like, because it's amazing music coming out of that area and like so close to home for me that like I don't know. I love seeing that shit. It's really awesome to see.
It's really cool how there's almost like, and I don't want to sound like gatekeeper or gatekeeping or elitist or whatever, but there's like the hardcore scene, right? And then there's all these other bands kind of boiling below the surface, like running parallel to it. And those bands are actually getting more notoriety and bigger than some of the bands in the hardcore scene, right? So think about stuff like Counterparts and Varials and Boundaries and Vatican and where Knocked Loose comes from, right? All these bands that are not like the hardcore nerds who want to just listen and argue about the fucking Cro-Mags, right? Enough about the fucking Cro-Mags, right? Oh, they have their like scene, but there's this whole other scene that's actually kind of fucking lit. And it's like, why are you, I don't need to see fucking John Joseph again. I love Madball. I don't need to see Madball again. Can we get some of the young guys and get them coming up?
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Well, like, I think with Drowner too, you know, like, because me and Hunter, we've been hardcore kids forever, you know? I mean, we're not kids anymore, but shit,
right.
You know? And, but with Drowner, we were like, you know, we can bring that type of mentality to this project, but it doesn't need to be a part of that scene. I don't expect anyone in hardcore to give a fuck about Drowner.
No. Yeah.
Like, if they fuck with it, awesome. That's badass. I'm stoked on it. But if they don't, I'm like, well, it's not really curated to you. You know? It's not really,
right.
You know,
and there's enough bands these days where they're kind of open to taking out. I mean, one of the best things that ever happened to nu metal is guys like you two have reached the age where you're making music that proudly pulls from those influences with no sense of shame or embarrassment, which honestly you shouldn't have. Right. But you got a whole bunch of elitist nerds who are like, Cold Chamber. It's like, yo, fuck you, dude. They made millions of dollars. They played Ozfest twice and made millions of dollars. What are you doing? Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that, and then you have the bands like Flashback and the bands like Trench and the bands who have some, I just randomly named two fucking Canadian bands, go figure. But they have like hardcore and metal bona fides, but at the same time, they proudly lean into the nu metal influence that they've got, and everybody's kind of like, yeah, I'll fuck with it.
Yeah.
All right, I'll
Dude, but
fuck with it.
That's the other thing, though. It's like all these people that for years were like, I don't fuck with Limp Bizkit. And then Limp Bizkit comes back and everyone's like, fuck, Limp Bizkit's the shit.
Yo, that place,
right?
I saw that they were packed. That show was
Limp
packed.
Bizkit's like fucking taking Scowl and Dying Wish on tour, and then suddenly everyone's like, oh shit,
Yeah, and
like what's up?
So like to me, I'm like, it was always kind of cool, dude.
Yeah,
you
dude,
just
like,
you were kind of in your own little bubble, and you liked what you liked and what your friends liked and whatever. And now it's kind of like coming back around.
Yep.
It was the same thing with like the melodic hardcore. Melodic hardcore is coming back in full swing, but like the early 2000s version of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like the
Where-
Carrier. And
Yeah,
shit,
the Carrier.
like, you know.
All that type of shit. All that stuff's all coming back. So a bunch of the new hardcore bands that I've heard is just it's trying to do that sound, you know.
Yep.
And so I'm like, it's so funny to watch everything full circle. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it all comes in waves. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah. Give
Yeah,
it like 5 years and LA is gonna be the next big thing.
I mean, you look at stuff like Foreign Hands, you look at stuff like A Dozen Black Roses, like that.
Yeah.
You're right. That early Seven Angels, Seven Plagues kind of metalcore sound is
Oh yeah.
the thing.
Oh.
But Tim and I always joke is, Austin Hunter, is the next trend going to be, are we going to be back with like the white belts and the swoop haircuts, right? The bad merch, right?
Have you seen fucking See You Space Cowboy, buddy? Like, no,
I mean,
love,
worse,
like I
worse
fucking
than
love
that.
with that band, but like they fucking are embodying like the scene era so fucking well. I
Yes.
love
Yo.
to see it, man.
Billie Eilish is keeping Hot Topic in business.
Yo, absolutely. man.
Yeah, she is.
No, fucking like, like it's crazy because like I remember a few years back, like I kind of like jokingly called like new metal kind of making a comeback. I didn't expect to be a part of like actually writing the music, but like I saw all these like, SoundCloud rappers like pulling from like emo and like pop punk and shit, and like then Travis Barker decided to like swoop up about 15
drum on
different,
everything.
yeah, like be the drummer for this entire scene. And I was like, man, new metal's coming back. And then this band started, and we started doing that, and I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna be the one bringing it back. Like,
I'm part of it,
Like, I will help be the fucking shepherd of this genre come back.
It is. It's coming back, and not only is
It's
it
awesome.
coming
I
back,
love seeing
there's
it, man.
the bands that are doing it have. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say have demonstrably more. The first wave bands doing this new metal revival, right, have demonstrably more talent at their first recording and at their first instance than some of the bands that were the original new metal bands, right? Like look at the talent.
We've had 20 years to fucking think about it.
Yeah.
What I mean?
True.
And I'm not to say that we're the first people to do it, because we're not, but at the same time, like I'm totally willing to be a part of that wave that brings, just rock music in general kind of back to the forefront a little bit in a different way. That's not like a guy with a reverbed out guitar, that's just strumming along and singing mumbles, or
the fucking at the drive-in where he's just throwing the guitar around. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be a hater either. I'm just saying, like, I think
be a hater. Be a massive hater.
Give me a couple more beers, whatever.
I'm a hater all the time, so I bring it on.
I agree, man. Massive hater all the way.
New metal was the last time, like the late 90s, early 2000s was the last time you had heavier guitar-based music that was actually socially acceptable. It was on the radio, it was on MTV, it was everywhere, right? And then afterwards came, like you said, the fuzzed out, the Strokes, the Hives, the bands, the blank bands, right? It's like, come on, man.
Fuck, I just think of that Sum 41.
That Sum 41 video. Yeah.
This isn't new. The Led Zeppelins, come on. The Sum.
He's got that lamp on the corner. He's like, I can't see you.
You smoke? Huh? Yeah, you do now. Smoke up, Johnny. Just like that's always been my thing too. Because I mean, all we like, especially growing up, like kind of towards the tail end of the new metal era, with like, really I got Hybrid Theory and Meteora, like those are like the big albums for me growing up. And then it was Nickelback, which like I'm a Nickelback sympathizer. Like I defy anyone to listen to the riff and Animals and not go fucking crazy.
They were
like,
hits.
They write
I'm
hits.
saying, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Dude,
they got bangers.
I call out every single person that when you heard How You Remind Me on the radio come on, if you try to say you weren't stoked, you're a fucking liar.
Exactly.
That was one of the best songs on the radio at the time. I don't care.
No, but like, you know, having like that era, like kind of get shit on for a while, like, it's hard not to jump into that, especially when like coming up as a teenager, like, you know, I was in the era of like Expire being the biggest fucking band in my area. So like anything that wasn't, I mean, yeah, like rest, you know, all the shit was Zach Deere. Fuck that guy. But like, I love
Yeah,
that
they made some good music, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, Pendulum Swings was like a pivotal record for me as a kid. But like having all of that shit on for so long and then kind of like growing up a little bit and realizing like, man, fuck those people. Like this is still good. Like I want to bring this back has been really cool. And like, I'm definitely realizing I'm much more drunk than I thought I was. So I'm losing my train of thought.
But no, Tim and I have had this. Tim and I have had the exact same Nickelback conversation, probably 3 episodes, at least 3 episodes, where he basically said, "Yo, talk all the shit you want. Those motherfuckers wrote hits. They write earworms. They write earworms and make fun of. You know, this is the photograph, right? Make fun of that meme all you want. That dude is laughing all the way to the bank. Laughing all the way to the bank.
I mean, their new album sucks ass, but it's fucking terrible. But as of this moment right now, I have a picture frame that I bought off the internet. That's Chad Kroeger holding the picture frame.
Oh, that's awesome.
Dude, I saw it and I laughed so hard. I was like, I'm gonna put a picture of us in this and showed it to my fiance.
So fucking
fantastic.
Yeah, but like, you know, the other thing too is that like we talk about this revival of like guitar driven music and we can't fucking let Machine Gun Kelly do it. Like, look, I've listened to a couple of those songs just because I bought the new remastered Tony Hawk Pro Skater, but they're not bad pop punk songs, but they're so generically manufactured to the point where I'm just like, oh, so you just consolidated and compressed everything that Blink-182 was and tried to make it different.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
This sucks. I'm not about it.
Yep.
And so like now when you have like more obscure bands, I guess, that aren't well known, doing something that's just artistically cool on top of being catchy, it's like it's so cool to see for me. Especially like Zone Zero and Bleed.
Yeah.
Those 2 bands really stuck out to me. I mean, not trying to not give anyone else a shout out, but
no, but like I get it. Yeah, I mean those have been the 2 bands of this like revival that have been fucking standouts to me as well. Like every song they've put out has been an absolute fucking banger, and it's great to see. Like I love even getting mentioned with them with anything because I'm like,
yeah, because we didn't think anyone was gonna give a fuck.
No, man. Like we fully were just like, this is for us, and like if anyone likes it, awesome. And like the reception has been way more.
See, that was the best. That was the best part about hearing that other people liked it because we just made music that we wanted to hear.
Yeah,
and that was the ultimate payoff. My favorite thing that anyone ever said about it was hooks. God damn it.
Hooks.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
They're right.
Yeah, they're absolutely right. Yeah. Even like, you know, you guys talked about alt rock and messing around with that before you landed where you did with Drowner. That even alt rock is making kind of a return, right? Like, I mean, I think what's the name of that band, Tim? It was Kane from Vomit Forth. What's his band with him and was it AJ?
Oh yeah. Eyeball.
That's like Soundgarden. And it's brilliant.
Speaking of people that I fucking love, Kane, that man is a maniac.
He's a madman.
Man, I love that man so fucking much. Actually, he also had a band called Bleed from Connecticut, and like I toured with them for a minute.
Yeah, they were like quasi new metal-ish, right?
Yeah,
like I saw them play with
cool.
I forgot who I saw them play with. It was Chamber, Simulacra, was it Wrist Meat Razor? It was a bunch of different bands that they played.
Shouts out Wrist Meat Razor.
Knife Spitter, maybe. I don't remember.
I used to live with Brian from Wrist Meat Razor, which is also another chaotic human being.
He's in like 17,000 bands. Like he literally drums for everybody.
He's always been that motherfucker who's just like the drummer for people, or like doing vocals. He used to do vocals in a band called The Jig, which was I played bass for a show. It's fucking wild. But no, like I was just going on a tangent about how much I love Kane. That's really all I wanted to make.
But I mean, like Brian is the younger generation's Dave Whitty. Do you remember Dave Whitty? Tim, he played for
he
Burnt
was
by the
in
Sun,
Human Remains,
Human Remains,
Yeah.
Burnt by the Sun. He toured with Melt Banana for a couple of years. Discordance Axis, Municipal Waste. Like, he's one of those dudes who just, and Doc just interviewed him, Doc Coyle, where he's just like, yo, I want to play. That's all I want to do is I want to fucking play. And Brian seems to be, he's like that. There's a couple guys in the hardcore metal scene, whatever, where they're just always fucking playing. They're always doing something. Yeah. And it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool to hear. It's kind of cool to see.
No, I love those motherfuckers. Brian specifically, that dude is like, he's one of the most chaotic human beings I've ever met in my life. There was actually one time, I want to say it was like on his birthday or something like that. He fucking texted me at like 3 a.m. and he was like, dude, I almost just fucking died. And I was like, what do you mean? What happened? He's like, so I was taking a shit out of the window on the highway and I fell out.
And he what?
He fell out.
He fell out of the. Apparently, he was taking a shit out the window while they were on tour. I'm fully calling him out right now. I hope to God he listens to this. And like, I was like, what the fuck are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. We're going again. Talk to you later. And like, I didn't hear from him for like 3 days after that. But like,
that's got to be a mortifying experience.
Dude, that's just his life. Like, he's one of the funniest fucking people I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, I talked to him on my old one. He was super cool.
He's wild.
Yeah, I remember This Is Hardcore. He was looking for an inhaler before the Inclination set because he's like, I can't fucking breathe, and everyone's trying to find him an inhaler and shit. It's hilarious.
Are they playing this year? They're not playing this year, are they?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. You're not even going.
I can't remember that lineup, man.
Oh,
old man
poser. I see. All right.
Yeah.
Now, the running joke is Tim doesn't even like hardcore, but he did a hardcore podcast for 5 years. It's kind of amusing. I'm attempting to go all 4 days. I'm going to attempt it.
Oh shit.
And then I got tickets. I just bought tickets to Psycho Las Vegas, which is going to be. I mean, as long as Las Vegas has water, because that's always a concern with Lake Mead.
That's a toss up there. You know?
But there's enough bands where I'm like, I'll go fuck with Ms. Moore and Elizabeth Color Wheel and The Body. Let's really get in a good mood and go see The Body.
Oh yeah, man.
But like, it's Emperor and Suicidal Tendencies. And,
if you don't see Emperor, don't even come back to New Jersey.
No, I'm going to see Emperor. I want to see Suicide. You know who I really want to see? I really want to see Carpenter Brute.
Oh hell yeah!
I really want to see Carpenter Brute because that album, I fucking love it.
Yeah, it's great. I'm gonna go to Tattoo the Earth. Fuck it.
Oh, up in Boston.
Yeah.
Guys, we're kind of spoiled being in Philly because there's Portland and there's Seattle, and then you got to drive into California. You're going to fucking Reno, right? We're so spoiled being in Philly. Between Philly, Asbury, New York, Boston, Baltimore, anything in Delaware, DC, Pittsburgh, nothing is really too far. I mean, 6 hours will get you basically anywhere.
No,
so
that's one of my favorite things. Like, I love touring the East Coast more than anything because like
the West Coast sucks when it's
West Coast, like, it's got cool spots, but they're so fucking far apart from each other. Like, East Coast, you drive 2 hours and you're like, fuck, all right, we're to the next spot already. Like, still one of the best shows I've ever played was on Long Island. Like, I literally watched a kid almost die on my pedal board from having an asthma attack. I remember like everyone in the room was just like, yeah, fuck that guy, keep going. We're like, all right. Like, I was like, I love the East Coast, man. Like,
we're a different breed out here, man.
No,
I seen a dude have a seizure at a Poison the Well show, and everyone just fucking moved around him and started moshing again.
Yeah, dude. Fuck it.
Yo, that's kind
show
of
must go
crazy.
on.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. I went to a Birds game once, and one of the Eagles players actually got hurt, and he's lying on the field. And the guys are coming out with the stretcher, and the two dudes behind me are heckling the player who's hurt on the ground. Like, this tells you everything you need to know about Philly. The one guy yells, "Dig a hole and bury him," right? And the other guy next to him yells, "Get somebody out there that wants to play." And I'm like, yo, this guy is hurt. He's like lying there, his fibula's sticking out, and they're heckling. Gotta love the
Philly
East Coast
for you.
Gotta love the East
Philly.
Coast.
I
Gotta love the East
love
Coast.
Philly,
All right, we're running out of time. So Austin, Hunter, if somebody wants to find you guys, find your music, get in touch, where do they go?
I mean, you can go to Spotify, Apple Music. I mean, literally anything. All our social medias at Drowner PDX. We got links on everything.
What's our Bandcamp?
DrownerPDX.bandcamp.com. We got
I was gonna say,
there.
yeah,
We
I
got
know it if you need
CDs. The CDs are fun. I printed, like, I fucking put all of them together and hand stamped all of them, so that's neat.
Yeah, dude, we've done all of this, and that's the coolest part about this whole project is we've just been doing all of it.
Yeah, literally everything that we've done. I guess fucking tail end of this, like, we are a fully like DIY band. Like, we do all of our own recordings. Like, you know, aside from like having someone else print our shirts, like we did all the designs, everything. Yeah, like.
Awesome.
What I want to say is we're amazing and the best, and anyone else can fuck off. You know?
Support local music. Support your local music and support a band who's doing it themselves. Right? You guys are doing it themselves.
No.
We will definitely throw links to Spotify, to Bandcamp, all of our stuff in our show notes. Once again, for those listening, watching at home, Drowner, newest EP, Holding On to Life. Check it out. If you're a fan of the show, there is a 99.99999% possibility you will love it. You will fucking love it. So check it out. It is solidly in the wheelhouse. So once again, I want to thank Austin and Hunter for taking the time tonight to sit down with us. On behalf of Austin, Hunter, Tim, and myself, I want to thank all of you for tuning in again and listening. Newbreed_podcast at Twitter and on Instagram, newbreedpodcast@gmail.com. Send us email, send us hate mail. Just don't think what did the one email we got, Tim, where somebody thought we were the country music artist New Breed, and he had the Trump truck and he was trying to tell us he wanted to come on the show. Like, I
listened to them because I looked up the podcast, and that shit is fucking insane. Just gotta throw that out there.
Yeah. So we kind of have the same fan base, kind of. Not even remotely. And we do have a Facebook group, and it's kind of wild, so hop on in there. So once again, I want to thank Austin Hunter from Drowner for joining us. Until next time, this is New Breed Podcast saying peace.
Later.